It's mad to think that Persona 5 is 9 years old at this point, especially so with the spin-off Persona 5 Tactica releasing this year. It's almost a testament to just how popular Joker and the Phantom Thieves are, and whilst Tactica is a spin-off to Persona 5 and a turn-based JRPG, it's much different from the original in many ways. Ahoy folks, this is Craig signing in for Pure Xbox, and here's everything that you need to know before you play Persona 5 Tactica. If you want to skip the release date details and get straight into the story, then check the timestamps below. But first things first, Persona 5 Tactica launches November 17th on Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series consoles as well as Xbox One, Windows PC via the Xbox app, Steam, PlayStation 4 and 5, and finally Nintendo Switch at a retail of $54.99 for the Standard Edition and $69.99 for the Digital Deluxe Edition, which comes with the Repaint Your Heart DLC, Weapon Pack and Picaro Summoning Pack, as well as access to Raoul Persona. Xbox players on both PC and console can enjoy the bonus of Xbox Play Anywhere with this one, so wherever you choose to play, your game saves will be there for you to crack on with. I've been playing on my Asus ROG Ally, as well as my Series X and S, and it runs smoothly on all three. Cool, well those were the basics, let's get into the story. Whilst it's not set in stone, from what we can gather, Persona 5 Tactica is set after the event seen in Persona 5 specifically, and not Persona 5 Royal. Our tactical adventure begins inside a snow-covered Café LeBlanc, placing the story somewhere between January and March. Our chibi-fied Phantom Thieves consist of Joker, Skull, Mona, Panther, Fox, Queen, Oracle, and Noir, all of which are tucked up inside the cafe chowing down on curry and sipping hot coffee. However, this introduction is short-lived when the news channel reporting the disappearance of a local political figure begins to glitch on TV. Shortly after, the cafe starts trembling, jostling our heroes around until a glowing door appears inside the coffee shop. Stepping through the door whips off Phantom Thieves into a bizarre new realm populated by strange hat-centric citizens living under tyrannical oppression. Now hunted by a military group known as Legionnaires, Joker and Mona find themselves split up from the Phantom Thieves and in grave danger until a mysterious revolutionary named Irina rescues them. Definitely not a hat person, Irina offers her aid to rescue Joker's friends in exchange for them joining her cause and ending Big Bad Marie's oppressive hold over her homeland. Throughout the story, the Phantom Thieves and Irina will meet new friends and foes, travel between 3 unique kingdoms, and battle across 60+ environments. Whilst all of this occurs, we're aware of noticeable absences from Goro Akechi and Kasumi Yoshizawa, with the latter only existing in Persona 5 Royal. The base game doesn't include these characters, which is why we think Tactica continues on from Persona 5 and not Royal. However, these characters do feature in Persona 5 Tactica as Crow and Violet throughout the Repaint Your Heart DLC due to launch alongside the base game. Perhaps Repaint Your Heart will bridge the gap between 5 and 5 Royal in some canon way, we're just not sure at this moment in time. Now, before we jump into gameplay and combat, it's worth mentioning the obvious difference in art direction between Persona 5 and Tactica. Where the original leans heavily into traditional large-eyed manga, we see our favorites squashed down into cutesy chibi-fied versions of themselves. The original voice acting talent returns for Persona 5 Tactica with partially voice-acted visual novel presentation. Most of the main quest dialogue is fully voiced, however you'll still need to do some reading if you fancy taking on optional conversations and missions, as not all conversations are recorded in full. Persona 5 Tactica also does away with the daily calendar and social free roam elements seen in Persona 5. You won't need to manage relationships or your school and home life at all. In fact, there's literally no exploration in Tactica. Instead, Tactica is a visual novel with RPG turn-based tactics gameplay as its main feature. Whilst there are optional conversations to engage in with other characters, this doesn't lead to anything more than growth points for leveling up your heroes for battle. It's not a bad thing, it's just worth setting some expectations when it comes to the obvious differences. Café LeBlanc acts as a home base in Tactica, a place where you can progress the main story or challenge yourself to a quest mission. It's here that you can prep your party with purchasable weapons and visit the Velvet Room to fuse more powerful personas together ahead of battle. You can also replay older missions, review memos, artwork, and movies from the game, and when available, talk to your allies for general off-topic banter to gain more growth points. Leveling characters in Tactica is less of an individual affair than other games of this ilk. Instead of the traditional XP and leveling units based on what they do as an individual, you're rewarded with growth points by completing missions, quests, and talking to allies in a hideout, which can be applied to all units. For example, if you earn 10 growth points at the end of a mission, every Phantom Thief will gain 10 growth points to place into their skill trees. Each character has 3 branches within their skill tree. One for leveling and upgrading their unique persona abilities, another for their attack strength, charge, and follow-up abilities, and finally a branch for HP and SP regen, movement, and attack range buffs. Oracle is the only Phantom Thief who doesn't join you on the front lines. Instead, she offers aid through healing, skill point regen, and can even save a unit from a lethal blow if enough growth points are earned for her skill tree. The main missions on offer in Tactica range from your bog-standard defeat all enemies, to escorting non-combatant units to a marked end zone, and flag of control missions which require the Phantom Thieves to destroy the opposition's flag to place their own. Each mission comes with objectives to complete, ranging from no one gets KO'd to complete the mission in X amount of turns. If the criteria is met and you're awarded a mission star, these will reward you with experience and money to upgrade characters and purchase weapons and personas. Quests are character-specific optional missions that can be undertaken, rewarding you with larger amounts of growth points and personas. These quests become available as you progress through the main story. Quests act as more of a puzzle rather than an open mission, and require the player to think harder about how to complete them. For example, one specific quest required me to move a unit from one side of the map to the other in one turn. This meant the other 2 units needed to set up combo opportunities for my unit to keep moving forward. Quests in Persona 5 Tactica are basically like chibi chess. Just like every Persona game before it, Tactica is packed full of different personas, each with their own abilities and powers to make them unique. Where you would obtain personas by capturing shadows in palaces, Tactica awards personas to you at the end of missions. The Velvet Room makes a return to Tactica, and it's here that we do most of our tinkering with personas. You can also still fuse 2 personas together to level up and gain new personas. Whilst each Phantom Thief still has access to their main persona, Joker has lost the ability to swap personas on the fly. Instead, each member of the Phantom Thieves can now equip sub-personas, bringing new passives and abilities to each unit in battle. When fusing personas together, the new one can inherit a single skill from one of the base personas, so be sure to fuse wisely. Each persona is categorized into 10 ailment types consisting of Despair, Sweep, Shock, Burn, Freeze, Vortex, Hypno, Dizzy, Forget, and Sleep. If a unit is attacked with one of these ailment types, it'll inflict a debuff. For example, hitting an enemy with a Despair attack will lower their movement range, or inflicting Forget will cause them to, forget what they're supposed to do and they won't be attacking you during their turn. Almost everyone can equip a sub-persona, the odd one out being Arena, but that's all we'll say on that for now. So, the main bite of Tactica is its combat. Whilst Tactica is still definitely a JRPG like Persona 5 is, how you do battle is very different. Persona 5 was a turn-based JRPG like Blue Dragon or Final Fantasy, where each character takes a turn to attack their enemy standing opposite them in a set-piece battle. Persona 5 Tactica swaps perspective to a top-down viewpoint, and it's up to you to strategically move each unit into position and wipe out your foe turn by turn. To be obvious, it's more in line with XCOM, Fire Emblem, and Gears Tactics. When playing a mission, you'll select party members to begin with. A party typically consists of 3 characters maximum, with the odd 4th non-combatant for certain occasions. As you progress the main campaign, you'll unlock more characters to fight with. Joker isn't an essential pick either, so when a mission has multiple battles, it's wise to select different party members for each fight. If a character isn't used in the previous battle, they'll gain peak condition, which comes with stat buffs going into the next battle. At the start of your turn, you can freely move your chosen Phantom Thief within their movement range, swapping between the 3 whenever you'd like. When it comes to actually attacking your enemy, you can make one of multiple options. Ranged gun, melee, and persona attacks can be used to deal damage, but choosing the right attack is quite important. Tactica does away with percentage-based hit chances and instead relies more on positioning and cover. Units behind full cover will block ranged attacks from the front and sides, receiving no damage. If attacked from behind or in partial cover, they'll earn resistance against gun attacks. When an enemy is hunkered down behind cover, it's normally best to melee them out of cover first, as melee attacks will knock units back away from their shelter, leaving them defenseless. Making a return in Persona 5 Tactica are one more and all-out attacks. Any unit caught away from cover can easily be knocked down, with the attacker gaining an extra turn. This is called a one more. What's fun about this mechanic is that if you keep knocking enemies down, you can build up an impressive one more streak with a single Phantom Thief. The dramatic team-based all-out attacks, or triple threats as they're known in Tactica, become available after a successful knock. You'll notice a fiery triangle connecting to each Phantom Thief, and if you position them well, any Legionnaire caught within the triple threat zone will be swept up into the all-out attack, dealing massive damage and giving you the upper hand. Another combo opportunity are follow-up attacks. These happen when an enemy is knocked from a height down towards another Phantom Thief below. If successful, you'll be able to melee an enemy from up top. The follow-up attack will trigger as they fall, and the unit who pushed the enemy down will gain a one more action. Sometimes, however, a good strategy is not to attack at all. If you skip your attack during a turn, units will become charged, enhancing their abilities. And each character has their own specific abilities. If we take a look at Arena, for example, if she skips an attack turn and becomes charged, she'll gain the ability to knock down and one more any unit with her ranged attack, in cover or not. Unique skills are abilities that vary depending on which character you're using. You can unleash a unique skill once your voltage gauge is full. The voltage gauge fills up whenever you attack or receive damage. Joker's unique skill is a powerful large area attack with his persona Arsene. Once you've unleashed your unique skill, the voltage gauge will be depleted and you'll need to fill it up again. If a Phantom Thief is KO'd in battle, you'll be able to baton pass another character into the fight. The number of baton passes you can perform depends on the difficulty you're playing on. If you're playing easy or normal, you'll get 3, hard 2, and merciless 1 time. However, if you're playing in safe mode, you can baton pass as much as you'd like. Also, if literally everybody gets KO'd, they'll all get revived and you can carry on. Once you've completed the main campaign, you'll be able to start a New Game Plus run with all of the personas, money, and weapons you've accumulated from your completed save file. If you bought the deluxe edition of Persona 5 Tactica, you'll also unlock the Repaint Your Heart DLC. 2 returning characters appear alongside Joker in a parallel story to the main slice of Persona 5 Tactica. The DLC story involves Goro Akechi, Kasumi Yoshizawa, and Guernica, I think I said her name right, a world-famous masked street artist. The battle mechanics slightly differ to those seen in the main campaign, introducing colored cover and paint to attack enemies. If you attack an enemy who's standing on your team color, they'll automatically be downed and one more is essentially guaranteed. Just an extra challenge once you've completed the main campaign. Well, there you go. Plenty of Persona 5 Tactica bits and bobs for you to get to grips with ahead of its launch November 17th. Will you be picking this one up or trying it out on Xbox Game Pass? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out PureXbox.com for all the news on Persona 5 Tactica, as well as subscribing to the channel here. I've been Craig, and all that's left to say is bye-bye for now. Weetabix!